demand put forward by Hindraf is also the aspirations of other minority ethnic communities, including the Chinese. In your opinion, what should Pakatan Rakyat, as the largest parliamentary opposition party who claimed to be well prepared to take over the federal government, do to fulfill people's aspirations and demand? If Pakatan Rakyat becomes the ruling party, do you think if there is any possibility to repeal Article 153?
This is our opinion within Hindraf. And in a sense, it answers, what I'm about to say also answers the question directed to me. We've been disappointed with the way Pakatan has responded to the problems that we have raised, that we stand for, after the last election, after the unconditional support that we gave. So we've been critical, we've been vocal about it. We've been, we've been very open about our views about how they have performed. In fact, Anwar Ibrahim himself, in forums which I have not attended, but our people have attended, have accused us of being racists. Yeah? Be that as it may, right? I think they have not risen to our expectations. Yeah. That's true. Now, going forward, right? We do not think that the battle will be won on these issues just by a change in government in the next elections. Because politicians are politicians, right? Once they get elected, what do they think about next? Getting re-elected, right? And then if let us say Pakatan does get into Putrajaya, who's going to be in the opposition? Think about it, right? And then they're not going to have an easy time, right? So whatever now UMNO has been saying, they'll probably say it louder, probably say it in different ways, more ways. Things change, but the pressure will be on Pakatan. So do they have enough space to make these changes? In our opinion, the battle would just have begun. It wouldn't end with the next elections. Which, then leads me to the next point, which is, Hindraf's position is we are unhappy with the way Pakatan has responded. We are unhappy, but for us, our primary objective now is for UMNO to go. For UMNO to go. UMNO has to go. That first change has to happen if other changes are to follow. If this first change doesn't happen, and we are frozen where we are now, we do not expect other changes, some of which, like what we've been talking about today, will ever happen. So that first change has to happen, UMNO has to go. This is clear within Hindraf. This is what, but that, then the next question, so does it mean you support Pakatan? Right? Under the present circumstances, what alternative do we have? We want change. So we have to push the primary obstacle to change first. And then, as I say, the battle has just begun, it hasn't been won. So we continue our struggle, and we believe that, we will have to, in fact, probably democratic space will open up a little bit after Pakatan comes in. And, that will allow us, you see, like today, we are an illegal organization. We don't have registration. Maybe we will get registration. Maybe we will have a more balanced media. Maybe we'll have our own paper. Whatever, right? So maybe democratic space will open up. The struggle goes on. And I don't think change is going to come that easily, especially when it is so entrenched. So entrenched. But Hindraf's position is that Pakatan, just leave it to them, they will not change. We have to continue as democratic forces, we have to continue to push for change.
Yes, I can't agree with Ganesan more. I think my hope is if Pakatan takes Putrajaya in the next election, that there will be a definite shift in the democratic space that we have today. That's my most optimistic hope. I do not for 1 second believe that the country is going to be perfect. But one of the human rights that we have is the right to live without fear. And under the Barisan government, we've been living in fear for 54 years. So, I'm hoping that with Pakatan, we can get rid of some of the more draconian laws properly. None of this Sandiwara which they give us with the Barisan. We take away the Police Act, we give you a Peaceful Assembly Act, which is worse than the Police Act. We're going to take away the ISA. If we promise to take away the ISA, then God knows what you're going to replace the ISA with. Probably something, just as bad. None of this Sandiwara. But we're going to see some real proper changes in the democratic spaces that we have. Then we don't have to be fearful anymore, right? We have the freedoms to discuss these things, to bring it out into the open. And only with this open discussion, only with honest open discussion, okay, and without any fear of stupid people with their motorbikes coming and crashing our party, all right, can we actually slowly but surely make change. But that is my hope.
This question about, look at this question. He's saying, do you think the Pakatan right is going to accept the retraction of 153? At the present moment, with the election just around the corner, are people really putting forward to Pakatan Raya, never mind, forget about Barisan Nasional, what their demands are? What are your exact demands? What are people's demands? Are they for the repeal of 153? And what else? At the moment, we've got what? We've got Bersih, which is asking for free and fair elections. Okay, that's quite clear. What they want is quite clear. I think in the last time I was in Johor Bahru, I listed something like 16, 17 demands. And free and fair elections was only one of the 16 and 17, or number 4, I think. So, Pakatan right has to be brought to the negotiating table and asked, are you prepared to accept our demands? Like I said that Pakatan right, or Anwar Ibrahim, has said that he's prepared to see the repeal of the new economic policy. That's a big thing, And then when I think it was Tony Pua said that the civil service has to be streamlined, made more efficient, etc., etc. And then Anwar said something like, oh, that is economically favorable, but politically difficult. Okay, so I became a bit worried whether when it comes to abolishing the new economic policy, you're going to say the same thing. So recently I heard again that he in a forum somewhere in the country, he said again that he was against, I think just a few days ago, against the new economic policy. So Pakatan right has to be brought to the negotiating table with the people, with the civil society, with the NGOs, etc. And we'll put our demands to them. How many Tamil schools are you going to build? How many Chinese schools are you going to build? We know what Barisan is like. Every general election, the facts speak for themselves. After 12 general elections, the Barisan Nasional has built negative. Like Ganesan had just mentioned. You look at the number of schools in 1957, number of schools today, they're minus 70 or 80 for Chinese schools and minus 300 for Indian schools, Tamil schools. So Pakatan right has to be brought to the negotiating table and asked, what do you stand for? And we bring our demands to them. Now we're asking them, are you prepared to repeal Article 153? I doubt very much they are prepared to repeal 153. Do you see them repealing 153? I don't. But if they're prepared to repeal the new economic policy, I think that's a big step. They're prepared to accept the Equality Act. Equality Act, which means it will neutralize 153. Okay, go about that way. But Pakatan right must sit in front of us and agree and sign that they agree with these demands. So when they come into power and take over Putrajaya, they will have us to reckon with. Thank you.